All right, mofo.
Oh, I missed you so
I fucking
much.
miss you. Welcome back. So, where you been?
Busy.
I know. Where? No, really. Where's your head been?
Oh, my head has been off and on. That's why I had to come. I had to come get some of my Dr. Michaels because my head. I want to talk about love today.
Okay, let's talk about love. That's beautiful.
No.
Can I ask you some questions before we get to love? Mm-hmm. Tell me where you are with everything. I want to know like what happened with the movie. Did you ever end up having the rap party?
No. They waited so late in the game. Like, they didn't know where they're gonna have it, what day it was gonna be. They didn't confirm anything. But I hit the director up and told him hey, we would love to do the premiere party. So the plan is, we're gonna do the routine that we would have done there. We just didn't have time to put it together, and we're gonna video it, and then I'm gonna send it to all the powers that be.
Cool.
Like the assistant producer, the directors, they all could still communicate with me.
So can we brag a little bit about what you actually did?
Sure.
Okay. So basically, you did Bad Boys 3.
Right.
And when it was your day to film, and you were doing aerial DJing in the movie.
Yeah.
You were in the air for how long? Come on, brag, baby.
Longer than I ever thought I could be. We started at 10:30 first day, ended about 7 p.m. and it was maybe an hour break for lunch. The whole time that day, because it was my day, my kind of feature, they had me going the whole time.
What did that feel like for you? Did your body get fatigued at all? Were you work?
Yeah, no. At the end, I had to meditate and focus on something real quick to bring my focus back, because I could feel myself easy moves, oh shoot, I'm doing this wrong in the air, and then I had to spin for 5 minutes straight, fast, just spin. It was crazy. It was a lot, but it was the best a lot ever in life.
So tell me about what it was like to meet Will Smith. Did you get to meet Martin Lawrence? What did they say?
No.
Come on, brag. What did Will Smith say about you?
He said I was really cool and unique. So it doesn't matter what anybody says about me ever in life. I am cool, unique for the rest of my life.
That's right. Absolutely.
Martin, he was kind of standoffish. He didn't really talk to too many people. Mm-hmm. But Will came over to me and I shook his hand. And listen, I have interviewed Lady Gaga, Jamie Foxx, people like that, huge stars. And I didn't fan out. But with Will Smith, it's just different.
Right.
It's Will Smith. Right. And so I was like, Will, you're so inspiring. My DJ Jazzy Jeff is my DJ crush. And if you ever need an aerialist DJ, I am here for you all day, any day. I am your girl. And he started laughing. And he's like, what did he say? He's like, that's when he called me cool. This is really cool and unique.
That's beautiful.
And then he told his barber about me. He brought his barber in from outside.
Wow. And
said, this is the DJ. She DJs up to her. He was bragging about me.
Awesome.
Telling people about it. I was like, holy crap balls.
So can you reach his people, or do you have a way of accessing him and saying, let him know that it's his aerial DJ calling?
Yeah. Yeah. No. I have his barber's number.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's just a fine line to do that. You know what I mean? His barber knows you want to get to Will and the opportunities, and I want to make it I'm going to send him the video.
Right.
And hopefully he shows Will. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So, I mean, it would be a dream to be on the world tour with them, performing at these premiere parties.
Absolutely.
That's the goal.
Well, looking back on the whole experience now of now it's all behind you, right? It was all a promise and a hope, and not knowing what it was going to be and what your role was going to be.
Well, it started out where I might not have even been the DJ.
Right.
Yeah.
They may just use your equipment too. I mean, it was getting to that point.
Right.
And now you had some major scenes, right? You're going to get credited.
If everything goes, see, I'm not telling anybody about it because you don't know until the editing's done. Right. So I don't want to tell people
and all this stuff, and you're on the cutting room floor. It never makes it.
Right. But they, requested to use my name in the movie. Nice. Yeah. So if they say my name.
Like on Mami Chula?
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally say my name, that one of the characters would say, hey, it's Mami Chula
That's beautiful.
You know, whatever.
And then at the end, the credits could be Mami Chula as Mami Chula.
I hope so.
That'd be
I
cool.
asked about
As
that.
herself, you know?
Right.
Mami Chula as
I
that'd be
totally
beautiful.
asked if I could get credit, credits, but...
Did you get to meet the producer at all?
No, I met the directors.
Okay,
The directors are so cool.
Cool.
Like, they had such great energy.
Right. Did they have a vision for you? Did they kind of tell you what they were looking for? Or?
No, I don't think. I really feel, I could be wrong, I feel like they saw me in tech rehearsal, seen what it looked like, and rewrote the script for me right there.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that feeling. That's awesome.
It's crazy.
That's
I was
good.
like, I just
That's
pray that this
spontaneous.
is my break. You know what I mean? This is what's
It's
going to...
a of your break. A break. You're going to have many breaks. There's going to be many.
Well, this is the world, like, this, if it's going to break, it should be this. If it
right.
You know, the editing's right.
Well, you also had a phone call from Ellen. That's not a bad break. And so, you know, there's going to come a time
where
all
in the same week.
And she's going to call back when she has this what do they call it?
I'm putting it out there. It's called Hidden Talent.
Right, Hidden Talent. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And they don't do it a lot, right? They only do it once in a while.
I
They
don't know.
They don't film that kind of.
They don't film it all the time. I think that's the reason why that lady was pushing so hard to get me in.
Right.
At that time.
But you're on their Rolodex or in their Rolodex. I would imagine.
She's aware of me, so
That's
I'm just gonna be
beautiful.
ready when she calls.
Good.
I'm putting it in the air. Ellen,
Love you.
call me back, girl.
That's right, girl.
I am here for you.
Friggin' love you. All right. Well, thank you for checking in. It's just, how's everything else going? You know, with
It's
work.
going good. So like my work, you know, I've been trying to like do less during the day, and like they're letting me go to practice and then come to work.
Cool.
Yeah, and then so they're like, we'll do this for 3 weeks, see how it works out, and then, but my next move is to just go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, still go to practice at those times, but not come in Thursday.
Cool.
And I'll see how they probably won't like that, but I don't know. It is
All
what
right.
it is.
Fit Radio, they'll be cool with it, don't you think?
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, they've been cool so far and very supportive.
Right.
Very, very supportive. So
You're an awesome member of any team, man. That's really what this comes down to.
I try to be.
Well, that's why they'll go do a little stretching for you here and
I
there.
mean, they've done a lot of stretching already, so yeah. I just want to be happy. I want to be like, I'm not happy behind a desk.
Right.
I realize that.
Right.
Like nothing about being behind a desk makes me happy.
Right. But don't you feel like you're taking care of that right now with everything that you got going, that you're handling your future happiness?
I have to do this for myself. Like if I'm going to do this at any time to not be behind a desk, it's now. Mm-hmm. Because I keep hitting the mic.
It's all good.
So when this movie comes out, and I'm just going to put it out in the air, all that editing is going to be great on my side. They're going to do what they did, and people should be calling.
That's it.
So I need to be ready for that.
Good.
Yeah.
So let's get into some of the life coaching stuff and unpack for me, man. Go ahead.
I just want to talk about love.
All right. What about love?
So getting a divorce, but here lately I've been feeling like sad over the divorce, and this hasn't happened, and it's not like I'm not busy. I'm busy. I just catch myself like super sad, going into like mild depression, and like I even think I cried one day.
Okay, can you be careful with the labels? I mean, what you're calling mild depression, can we just call it like a natural grieving process in coming to terms that the marriage is really ending?
That could happen.
You know, I think that's, you know, I'm not saying it's not depression, but that's like a clinical thing, you know, and like save that diagnosis for the professionals. Don't be throwing that around so quick, you know. Yeah. You know, give yourself a little wiggle room to go through a grieving process, for God's sake.
Well, the thing is I'm going to LA Monday.
Yes.
And I'm going to see him.
And?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm just going to see him, and like I talked to his dad the other day. I just don't understand why I can't shake it. Like, I understand.
Well, you can. You're just not shaking it yet.
Yeah, why I'm not shaking it.
Well, it's because it's really, truly about the grieving process. I mean, have you really thought about what you guys had and the promise of what you thought you were going to have? I mean, have you really reconciled with, you know, the good stuff? You know what I mean? And where you thought this was going to be, and all of that, and what your dreams were and your hopes were. And then you can keep those hopes and dreams, but it's just going to be with somebody else.
Right. I understand that. It's not, I just don't know why I haven't shaken it yet. I mean, it's not like we don't talk hardly. Mm-hmm. We don't see each other. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know. Is it because I haven't found somebody else to fill that?
Well, you're calling it love. That's not a bad thing. I call it the number one. That's the number one position. If nobody else has filled that number one position, then he's still there. And so, because you called it love, you said, let's talk about love. And it's like, wow, you're mentioning this as love. It's like love is something that you experienced in the past with him, right? I mean, at least sharing love, you know. Do you think you're in love with him? I mean,
I don't know.
Oh, because
I don't know. That's the only reason why I say love is because I can't shake it. Like, I talked to his dad the other day, and I love his parents. Like, his parents treat me like a daughter. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he like said thank you to me for what I did for his son. Right. Because I made his son grow up.
Right. And he knew you were a great influence and a real catalyst for him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And so, like, his parents have always made me love him more. Mm-hmm. And I tell his dad that. Like,
it doesn't suck to get appreciation, you know? And
no, it doesn't, but it's hard. It's harder to, like, shake that off when you love the parents so much.
Well, why do you have to shake it off, though? That's why I'm asking you. I mean, maybe you're being a little too hard in your head about this thing being over.
I don't want to feel this way anymore. Right. I don't want to miss him anymore.
Right. Do you think, like, you're never going to be able to talk to his parents anymore once the divorce is final? Like, you're still talking to his parents?
That.
Right. So that level will still be there. What do you think it is then? I mean, what's your best guess?
I don't know. Maybe because I haven't found somebody to fill that void, but I don't want to have somebody else to fill the void to be over this.
No, as a matter of fact, you said I'm still busy. You were when you were talking about I don't understand why I'm staying busy. It's like, you know, if you have to stay busy to not kind of feel the grief, then that's a real problem. Then you're kind of like having to stay busy because you don't want to feel. That's not like, really.
So, with other guys that I've dated. Mm-hmm. Not even dated, because I don't want to go there with dating. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any interest to date any guy right now.
Okay.
But friends. Like, there's this guy who wants to date me really bad, and he's trying really hard, and he's just not my cup of tea. Mm-hmm. We're cool, but he's not my cup of tea. Mm-hmm. I just don't want to go there. And there's another guy who's calling, and I'm just like, I'm just the person that I would, like, I'm trying not to be how I don't want to be treated. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm really trying that way.
No, I get
but it's just...
But you're not leading them on, so that's good. You don't want to be treated that way. You're being honest. Look, if you're going through a divorce and you're still going through a grieving process, what says that now is the time that you got to be dating again? Like,
no, it's not that either. It's just, I don't know where I'm at in that department. Not that I have to be anywhere, but I just don't know why I can't shake that off.
Because it's not your time. I mean, so when it's ironic that you're saying you don't know where you are, but yet you know that right now you quote unquote can't shake it.
I think it's stupid. I think it's dumb.
Well, that's judgment, and that's not really loving of yourself. I mean, this is organic. I mean, you're actually discovering who you are when you go through a process. You're learning how you are.
That is so true. Oh my God, I learned so much about myself through this process.
But how about the fact that you're even calling yourself dumb?
No, I think I'm not calling myself dumb.
Process.
I feel like it's been a year.
Right.
A year.
Yeah, but it's not, now you're coming face to face with the divorce, right? It's getting closer and closer, right? I mean, isn't that what this is all about?
Honestly, we haven't even talked about it.
Okay.
Like, it's no closer than when I first seen you.
All right.
Like, well, I won't lie. I'll say that. I think it's closer because I told him. I was like, okay, I'm ready. Mm-hmm. Let's get this divorce. Mm-hmm. But he hasn't done anything about it. He hasn't said anything about it. I haven't said anything about it. We're going to see each other Monday. I don't know if we should we talk about it? Like, what is this visit for? Really? Like, he's driving an hour to come see me.
Is that messing your head up?
No, because he doesn't call me.
No, but the fact that he's coming and driving an hour to see you.
I'm just curious of why. Like, I know he still cares about me. We still care about each other. I don't expect that to stop, but...
It's funny that you keep talking well, originally you called it, let's talk about love. And I really want to hit that because that may be the big stumbling block right now, because you're seeing that you're not really interested in dating anyone else.
Yeah.
You can see that clearly.
Yeah.
And he's still in your number one position. And even bringing all of this up, you put it under the heading as love. Let's talk about love. I want to dig deep into that. Like, that's an interesting terminology. You didn't say I want to talk about my relationship with my ex.
Well, I still love him. I definitely still love him.
Right.
I just don't. And like when I think about it, I don't necessarily want to be with him because he never made me feel safe. Mm-hmm. And I know that.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that you've processed your grief.
I don't get the process of grief. I don't get that.
Really? When you choke up, when you say I still love him, and there's a little like you don't feel that's like.
I don't want to cry.
Don't cry. Don't cry.
I'm trying not to.
No, that's fine. But the fact that you're thinking about crying.
I'm crying.
That's what I'm saying.
God.
I fucking love you. Look at me.
I'm crying.
Okay. All right. It's not stupid that you're crying. See, this is all part of discovering who you are. I just think it's brilliant to just give yourself permission to just call it the grieving process.
I haven't cried in a long time in our sessions.
Right. Well, do you remember we went through a box of tissues on that first visit?
Oh my God.
And then maybe one or two tissues on the second visit. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, you're doing a lot better. Yeah.
I don't get it.
You really don't? Mm-mm. It's who you are. Okay, so basically this whole work, the way I think about this is that you're really coming to terms with who you are. And here it is. It's being revealed to you. And so you and I are sitting down talking. We're having a deeper dive. And because we're having a deeper dive, you're touching things that you wouldn't normally touch on the superficial. Right? And so this is an opportunity for you to see, I'm crying, or I called it love, or there's no one in this one position, or it's stupid that I'm going through this. And it's like, really, is it? Is it stupid that you're calling it stupid? I mean, we can go on and on with this, but I mean, the bottom line is you're learning who you are. And my job is to just love you through it unconditionally, right? Not like judge it, not be bad, and just go, hey, be gentle with yourself. This is what it looks like to process the end of this relationship. We don't have to use the word grief, but I certainly don't want to use the word depression. If you're going to throw out depression, then I'm going to counter that with grief.
Right. Yeah, I always have a problem with my words. Like I throw out this
it's just what
major
you're going through.
Thing all the time.
Then go with my process. It's my process, right? And then you could be like, and I'm beating myself up over my process because I'm thinking I shouldn't feel this way because
I think it should be over.
Okay, really?
I think it should be to a different point because we have hardly any contact.
No, I understand, but don't you realize to think that it should be over and using that as a barometer of what it should be over is like you're trying to say that your intellect should supersede what's reality. It's like, well, I think. Well, who cares what you think? I mean, we're trying to discover who you are, and it's going to take however long it's going to take. So what you're thinking is kind of like pushing it a little bit and making it a little more abusive. And, it's not really respectful or self-loving.
I mean, yeah, no, it's not self-loving, definitely. I mean, I'm not self-loving in this situation.
Right.
Because I'm mad at myself for still loving him.
There you go. Now you said it. Fucking love you. I do. So you're upset about still loving him. Mm-hmm. You can't look at that as being a beautiful trait. Like that, hey, of course I'm still feeling this way. I loved the guy. I wanted to marry him. It didn't go the way I wanted, but of course I still love him. And you're being real about it.
I still am confused. Like, I'm just confused. And I don't know if it's a good idea to see him.
Ah, here we go.
Because it brings everything back. Or at least it's not a good idea to see him in the capacity that he is going to come in Monday. Like, he wants to come in, drive an hour to see me, go do things, pretend like we've been cool this whole time. And it happens every time I see him. We're so good. We see each other. We have fun. I don't complain of what happened. We're cool. We might have sex. And then I'm not in his face and
maybe that's it right there. I definitely don't want to tell you what to do, but you may want to consider whether or not it's in your best interest to have sex with him. And if you're okay that if organically happens, and I'm fine with that too, just realize that it's going to prolong this process of confusion and being in love with him. And, that's fine. But, maybe, I don't want to say this as an absolute because I think that's arrogant. though people who do this for a living, who are into like convention, would say, what the hell are you doing having sex with this guy? You need to have more boundaries than that. You got to love yourself a little better than that, right? But I'm not going to say that because I'm not sure if I really believe that, because I don't know what your recipe for success is. I really don't. I don't know what you're going to have to go through. I don't know, like, you might see him and your fear is that, like, I don't know if I really want to see him right now because of all these feelings. And my thing is like, well, maybe that next meeting, whether you have sex with him or not, would be the point that helps you realize, I'm done. That whole thing, you can't go around it, you got to go through it. And maybe this is just, helping you kind of resolve things and going, hey, I got to a certain point where, like, I'm not going to keep doing what I'm doing right now. This is crazy. I'm going to love myself a little more. And this is what it looks like for me to love myself, because this is what it looks like for me to be me right now. I'm learning about me right now. I had no idea how I was going to handle this. And this is how I'm handling it. I don't know if this is helping you. I really
No, it is. It's
okay.
helping a lot. Because last time I seen him, so last time I seen him, he had just, he had his car. Did he have his car? So he had, like, okay, so he went from broke, right? And then he got into some money. And so, like, I paid for everything when we were together. And so that really, that story hurt me, that the fact that he was living so good.
Right.
Like, it put me into, like, panic, like what the F is going on?
Right.
And that whole thing, that whole scenario, like, just totally blew the whole thing out the water, and it was just bad.
Now, you're talking about the scenario being that when he started coming into money, how all of a sudden you were not around to enjoy the fruits of that labor?
Yeah, it hit me when I seen it.
Right.
And I went into somebody who I wasn't. Like, I was just, I gotta go. I can't be here. I can't get into this. I get it. It's normal to be like, where's mine? When you were down and out and had nothing, I was there to help you and I carried you, and I still think about the whole situation, and, like, I still think about, like, I don't take credit for what he did, but I pushed him to grow up. I pushed him, and he doesn't recognize that, and I think that still bugs me. And if he was broke, would it bug me? Like, would I still want to be with him? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm so glad that you're being that honest about it. I appreciate your honesty. I think the bottom line is this is not about you, about his, you pushing him or the fact that he's got money. What is about you are your feelings right now, and the fact that you're really not processing your own feelings and where you are, because I want you to have your own back. I do too. So focusing too much on him and whatever degree of success that he's had, and would you be doing it if he didn't have this degree of success? I'm not sure if that's as important as you loving yourself better than you have right now and making a decision about whether or not, going into this, you could just call it an intention. You don't have to be attached to it, but maybe going into this thing, you say, all right, I'm definitely not going to have sex with this guy. Now maybe you fail in that, but we'll see. Film at 11, right? But what if that was your intention? And that, you were like, no, as far as my best guess around what self-love is for me right now.
I think that's another thing that's probably what bugs me. And I say it's stupid, because I feel like you're right. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, the self-love I know isn't there, because I'm still putting myself in a position where he probably knows, like, letting him come see me, letting him chill with me, letting him he and ha with me is saying, you could come, you did all this, and you could still come back anytime you want. Right. Because he kind of
and not
knows
share
that.
Your wealth with me now that you're doing it.
Right. You could come when I'm in town. Everything's all great. But when I leave, you can go back to ignoring me. Right. And to not giving a shit what happens in my life.
Right. Well, as a guy, and I have this gene, I'm the same way. I mean, I'm maybe not as active with it as he is right now, but we want what we want when we want it. And we're not really thinking about the fact that we may be hurting someone. We're really not. We're thinking like, well, if she's good with this, if this is okay,
he knows I'm not good with it.
Okay. Well,
he knows I can't stand that. He knows that I can't stand it when he doesn't pick up the phone. Like, he does that stuff. Our whole relationship, I find it so disrespectful when he does that, right? And so this is another self-worth thing, right? Having my own back. So instead of calling once,
okay,
and then letting it go, I knew he sent me the voicemail. That shit pissed me off.
I know.
I was like, what? And I called him back probably 10 times. I'm like, if he has a girl there, I'm gonna fuck that shit up. And if he doesn't, I'm gonna cuss him out because he did this. It's just such a disrespect thing. Like, he'll never in life be able to do that to me and me be okay with it. I know that.
But have you ever had a conversation with him that said, look, I don't want to have sex with you and I need you to have my back. I need you to really do this for me because this is something that's important to me. So when we get together, I need you to kind of lay low on making any kind of moves, even if you're feeling it or thinking there's a green light. I just need you to have my back. If you're going to love me, I need you to love me by not having sex with me. And can you put that out there as an opportunity for you to at least have self-love for yourself and at least being honest with him about that, so he has an opportunity to like either ignore you and do what he wants when he wants, and then you'll know that because you put that out, and then then that'll help you process or not. I mean, how do you feel about that? If I just mentioned that, do you think you can pull that off?
Oh, I could totally tell him that.
Do you feel like you'd like to? I mean, does that feel like that'd be cool?
I don't want to have sex with him in this situation. Like, I
fucking love you.
I don't want to.
I don't want
what do you
have
mean?
Sex with him. The asterisk in this situation.
Well, like, if we were like cool, like, of course I would jump his bones.
That is amazing.
But
that is amazing. You're absolutely messing me up because I'm trying to have your back here, right? So one line I want to have you like, okay, give him the parameters that he's not to have sex with you, and the other one is like, well, if you really want him that bad, then straighten this relationship out, man. Fix this. You're strong enough. You can get this thing right. So you realize you're messing me up here. I'm trying to have your back, and I'm trying to figure out what is like your recipe for success, and I'm getting these mixed messages about what love would do now. For you, on your behalf.
I'm confused.
I get it.
What I do to people who don't show me appreciation, my love language is acts of service, right? Nice. And how I show love, I want to receive love like that, right?
You need to see the acts of service going toward you.
And if I don't see that, I remove myself from the situation. There's been so many times where I told him, you know what? Don't talk to me. Don't call me. I tried to like deprive him of my presence. I think every woman does that. They like, you can't see me no more. You can't talk to me no more. But I'm really good at that if I don't give a shit about you. Right. For some reason, I can only do that to him for so long.
Well, that's because no one else is in the number one position. I think, you haven't really moved on yet. I mean, I'm not asking you about what your sexcapades have been since, but
I've had a few.
I understand, but nothing that was really significant. No. Nothing that pushed him into the number two slot.
What I realized something. Like, the few guys that I have messed with, like, Michael is so not my type.
Who are you interested in? Do you know? Do you have do you ever do that list about like your ideal partner, and do you know what that is right now?
No, I don't even want to think that way.
But then this meeting is coming up, and the aerial DJing is not really on the foreground right now, even though it's still happening. When it comes to Michael, the aerial DJing doesn't seem like it's in the number one position in the relationship to, I'm going to see Michael soon. This shit's going to fly. Something's going to happen. I don't like being in this position.
How's aerial DJing not number one?
No, because it looks like this is taking a priority in how it's taking over your mind. You're thinking, it's not really number one. Where when you say I'm not interested in aerial DJing, I'm not really have time for relationships. I'm not focusing on it. It's like, well, in this situation, aerial DJing is not coming in at number one. This counts.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. This counts.
Yeah, you called me out on that one.
So this one's got to get addressed.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to aerial DJing, this is not, it's not number one here. It's the mistress, at least in your energy. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe, it really is.
I get it.
We had a great, the last time I talked to him, we had a great conversation. Like, it's so weird how we can get, I think that's the thing too. Like, maybe I should just fight with him. Be like, because we have such a great time when we're together. Right. And I don't understand, as a man who loved me, And I still think he loves, because if I call, like, money, you know, he'll give me money. Mm-hmm. That's so easy. Mm-hmm. And I realize that shit doesn't even fucking mean, like, really doesn't mean shit. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
I think you do know. I think you just said it about your own love language. I think you need it for the long haul. I think that as much as it seems cool and it's sexy almost to just have a little pool boy on the side that you actually love, and that you can focus on your career and that you don't have to make him a priority. I think on some level you do want the two cats in the yard kind of thing. Not really the two, you know what I'm saying, but the relationship,
Yeah, I mean, I do.
And there's nobody else in that position except him right now. Nobody else has got your eye. That's a problem. I'm not saying that you have to remedy that, but that's really what's going on, is that right now he is owning that number one position.
Yeah.
Not that he's worthy of owning that number one position. I get that, but there is no one else on the horizon that could be in that number one slot.
Not even close. And
you're not even in the mood to put someone in that number one position because of aerial DJing.
Yeah.
There you go. So you're absolutely, here it is, locked into this situation, which is a brain state, by the way. It's a recursion. Mm-hmm. And you're aware of your own, I'm going to throw it out, stuckedness in this situation. Well, there you go. Well, you have to really feel it to the point of uncomfortableness, to the point where you finally go, all right, I'm done. I'm moving on. Mm-hmm. Okay, I've got to do this. Like out of self-love, I got to do this. I'm moving on.
Self-love thing is putting a whole nother spin on it for me.
Good.
Because I never thought about it that way. I don't know.
Isn't it convenient? Yeah, isn't that convenient that I haven't thought of it as self-love, and I've been in I've been in this prolonged state of stuckedness and nothing fulfilling happening.
It's not self-love. I'm going to break this down. So it's not self-love because I allow him to have access to me whenever he feels like it. Yeah. Good job of breaking it down. And when I go into town.
Good job, man.
But when I'm out of his face and not into town, like, who's Amy?
Right. And what would be ideal for him is if that was really okay with Amy.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
About him being, who's Amy? And on some level, it would be really great for you if that was really organic who you are, but it's not. That's what I'm saying about the two cats in the yard, our house.
Yeah, of course. I want somebody to freaking worry about me and want to know how my day went and stuff like that. Well, could you
imagine presenting all this to him? I mean,
he knows that.
Yeah, well, he doesn't.
He knows that. He doesn't know.
All right, he knows it, but you haven't dusted it off. You've had sex with him. You're going to have sex with him again. So what's the difference, that he knows it? You got to dust that stuff off. It doesn't matter. Wouldn't that be self-love to go, hey, just want to let you know while we're having sex, nothing's changed. I'm still the woman that wants you passionately. So if you're going to basically do me, at least pretend to care and call me, do things that, semi-romantic. Can you handle that? Or it'd be like, nah, this is too much for me. I can't. Sorry, you're not cool for me to just throw you one right now. This is getting a little too out of my wheelhouse. I'm not appreciating this at all. This is him. I'm talking now as Michael.
Oh, it's Michael? Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Michael. Yeah, no way. No. I do want to do you, but not that bad. No, I'm not really interested in making a phone call. But that's self-love if you don't lay it out there. You to say, he knows this is like, really? He knows this, but he's going to do you. Because you're not reminding him. You got to renew your vows to yourself while he's listening as a form of self-love. If you're going to dust off having sex with him, you better dust off how you feel.
No, I do not want to have sex with him.
There you go. Well, throw that out. Throw that out when we talked about, say, listen, I believe you do love me. I need you to have my back. So, don't come on to me because I probably am going to be weak and I really don't want to have sex with you. And you do have that power over me. I think you have that power over me. I would find it incredibly endearing and more loving if you would not have sex with me and let's just have a great time. Mm-hmm. I would call that an act of self-love if you presented that to him. Mm-hmm. I would say that would be you answering the call instead of just like running on automatic pilot. This would be you taking responsibility and loving yourself if you were to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I think last time he didn't want to have sex with me because he was like, he didn't want to have sex with me because of what it feelings that would meant. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like.
Mm-hmm.
That it would make me think that we were going to get back together.
Right.
So knowing that, Like, obviously.
That's a lot of, I think he's thinking and I'm thinking, but that's why I want the conversation to be dusted off. I think you're right. I'm not denying that you're not right, that he's probably thinking that way.
Oh no, he told me.
There you go.
Like, you can't get on that. He's like, I don't want to have sex because I don't want to get you thinking that it's going to be something that it's not going to be.
Beautiful. You can't fault that.
Not at
He's
all.
covering all his bases.
Sure is.
And if you're letting him in after that,
it's my fault.
I would call that not self-love.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So there you go. So now you're learning how to show up for yourself at a higher level. Is that cool? Are you really?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, totally.
Good. Is this a wrap? Is that a session right there?
I feel real good about it.
Friggin' love you, man.
I love you more.
I love you even more. You're the best. So I'm going to post this.
When?
I don't know. Tomorrow? Whenever?
No.
No?
Not yet.
No?
I'm not ready for it to be posted. Not this one.
All right.
This is the most intimate I think we've ever gotten, Doc.
You're friggin' amazing, though. All right.
It's on this one.
All right. I won't. All right. I'll keep it.
Because this one's a good one.
All right. It was a good, but it has more value to be posted.
I know. Okay, fine.
All right. There you go. There you go.
I'm going to be calling you. I'm like, Doc.
Now, so I
can't do it. Like, I'm sitting here thinking, like,
it's the deeper dive.
I cannot have sex with this man because, like, I totally equate that to not having self-love now.
Beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that. I think for all the stories that I could have possibly have come up with, that's a pretty good story. I'm okay with that because I don't know if you're having your own back by just letting things happen on automatic pilot. So
because
I'm okay.
You know what that was, though? That was me wanting to be cool, wanting to please him, because at that point he could snap out of this.
See, there you just said it. Okay, you want to be cool and you want to please him, and that's wonderful. But what about you? What about being cool for you and pleasing you?
But the hopes of that was him snapping out of it and saying, no, I want to get back. I want to do this again.
Of course I want to get back because you're super cool.
Right. And now
you're taking it on the chin, one for the team. So let me come around and tell you, you are everything I wanted. And I am sorry that I've ever messed it up with you. And I want you back forever.
Every girl was like, yeah.
I know. I know. With their number one position, whoever that happens to be.
Yeah.
Well, you need to really reconcile really quickly that Mike, whether you're getting a divorce with him or not, he's in the number one slot. I know. Ouch. I know. That number one slot's for real, man. That shit's serious. It really is, because we're all romantic on some level.
How do you shake that? Do you have to get somebody else, or can
you do, but it doesn't mean you have to do it today. It doesn't mean you have to force it. You know, if you can date, and if you can give yourself permission to perhaps meet somebody that maybe you might have feelings for. Not saying I don't think I'm going to have feelings for anybody, but I need to get on with my life, so at least I'm going to date. And it's like, this guy was kind of charming. It's like, oh, it's working.
Yeah. Oh my God, dating.
Dating's rough.
It sucks.
Yeah, it really does
balls,
suck. It really does. It really does. It really, really does.
When I married Michael,
it sucks more for men than it does for women too. I think. I really believe that men are just like, oh my God.
No, Doc. Let me tell you the little bit of dating that I've done. Okay. This is so stupid. First of all,
I love that you start out first of all, like you got the list.
First of all, yes, because when me and Michael got married, like we met through Facebook. So it was kind of the new thing, you know what I mean? Like, and I started flirting with him. Never thought that we were going to get married. Like, he lived in LA, I was in Atlanta. But, okay, so we got married, blah, blah, blah. Now it's this whole app thing. And then also, if you meet a guy, he wants to show penis pictures.
Oh, yeah, everybody, dick pics.
Dick pics.
Absolutely.
I never asked for a dick pic.
Right.
I just met you.
Right.
I don't want to see your penis.
Right. And it may not even be his. And you can't shake that vision. You can't.
Right. Okay. So this guy I met in the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
He was really nice, tall, handsome,
mm-hmm.
had great conversation. I could tell he was very smart. But within 24 hours, he sent me 2 pictures of his face, texted me a list of, this is who I am, how tall I am, I have a kid, everything that you would learn about a person.
Over time. Naturally, right.
He put it in a text.
Right.
And he was like, and I know you're going to send the same. No. I don't have time to text all this. Like, what are you talking about? And then he's like, good morning, beautiful. And I was like, oh, hey, good morning. And then he sends me the dick pic.
Wow.
Okay.
So it's good to know the guy gets morning wood. He wanted you to know that.
Oh my God. It's 72 hours of knowing him.
Wow.
Talked one time on the phone.
Wow. Well, don't you feel like if that's really where he's at, that it was never going to work anyway?
No.
How can that go long term anyway? So that has to be.
Oh, I wasn't worried. I was just like the guys today.
Right.
Then.
But guys want that to work because our fantasy is that that's going to be okay for the right wrong girl. We understand. We want the right wrong girl. Yeah. Right. As a guy, we want somebody who's cool.
I guess. And then the guy that I've known him forever. He calls me. We talk, and then one morning sends me a dick pic. I laid into him. I told him, I was like, what made you think I want to see your penis? What? Why would you send it? How many girls do you send this to? I made him feel stupid on purpose. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna lie. Because I'm like, you're stupid. Mm-hmm. And it's just so stupid. It is,
but you're trying to have his back. Believe it or not, by you saying that is probably a great act of kindness, because you really are trying to help him not be so.
I'm like, girls don't
play at a better level.
Women don't.
You're trying
like
to help him.
Shit.
You're almost like coaching him, like getting him to play in the major leagues. This is like minor league stuff.
This is a man over 30 years old. Like, I'm gonna need you to grow up.
Right.
And then what happened?
So for the people who are watching this, if they've got a dick pic, where would they send it? Do you have an email address that
No,
a random dick
I do
pic?
not have anything. Please do not send me a dick pic. And then the last one, I met him. Everything was cool. Like I shared my grilled cheese sandwich with him.
That sounds serious.
Right. Like it was like literally within 3 minutes of me. I was just feeling good. I was like, oh, you can have my sandwich. And I was DJing, and he was a good looking, handsome guy and everything. And he got my number. He was like, I liked how strong he was. He's like, do you want to go out tomorrow? Some guys today, like they'll be like, let's go out, and then leave it open-ended.
Right.
Like this one guy, he swears up and down he loves the ground I walk on. I'm so cute. He'll like, oh, let's go out, and then never confirm it.
Wow.
And it just gets old, like after time.
Well, you do know that in this day and age, a lot of people are really scared to really ask a woman out for fear that that's considered abuse.
He asked me out, and I said yes, and then
I hear
he doesn't
you.
close the deal.
I know.
And then he'll come out of nowhere. Well, let's go out. No, I'm done. Shot clock.
Right.
Buzzer. You're done.
I fucking love you.
Okay. Buzzer. But this guy, we start talking about R. Kelly. I just happened to mention, I said, what do you think about the R. Kelly thing? He's like, you ain't going to like what I say. And I was like, okay.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So he has a daughter and everything. And he was like, where's the parents? I don't, and I agree. Where was the parents? But then he's also like kind of blaming it on the girls. Like they're, even at 14, they know what they're doing. They're just trying to get R. Kelly. I'm like, okay. And so I was like, okay, that's your thought process. Mm-hmm. All right. But then he's like, I am who I am, and I don't apologize for it, and I'm not made for everybody. He was just going in, yelling. Mm-hmm. I was like, Jesus. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I respect it. Oh, and then I asked him, I said, so do you have a girlfriend? Nowadays you got to ask people, do you have somebody? He's like, no, but if I did, it's not any of your business.
Oh my God.
That's what he told me. I said, how is it not any of my business? You asked me out on a date. I want to make sure.
Right.
And he was like, we're not like that yet. So it's none of your business.
We're not like that yet.
I just met you. I'm like, oh my God.
Wait a minute. Because you just met me, I don't have to know if you have a wife at home?
Right. I was like, okay, well, I'll call you tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
He knew that wasn't happening.
Right.
I was like, what is wrong with you?
I love the story. So this is the Adventures in Dating 2019.
Oh my God. It sucks so bad.
Yeah. There's a book written out about like men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Okay.
And I thought I would write a new book that, women are from scars because of all their wounds.
Right.
And men are from penis.
That's funny.
Isn't that funny? I really believe it's true.
Yeah.
I really, women are hurt and men are just sitting there just trying to, the next thing they
Why
can.
Why are men so driven by their penis?
Come on. Hormonal. It's hormonal. We've got, I say, we got poison in our veins. It's a reality, not an excuse. That's not, look, as men, we have to learn how to manage this poison, but it's poison. I mean, truly, it's not really the easiest thing to combat, but you got to combat it. But it's still not easy, but it's still got to be done. Mm-hmm. So people say, well, I have no sympathy for men. I'm like, well, of course you don't. I mean, you know, I'm not saying that men should be abusive, but I mean, there's a reason. This shit is real. That poison is friggin' real. You know, the fact that
I don't think women understand it. Because I don't understand it. I feel like you should be able to control that thing.
Right, exactly. Well, it's not just the thing. It's all the poison in that thing. It's the stuff everywhere that's running through the blood, you know, everything. That whole area, that whole genitalia area, that whole thing works together in concert with the prostate and the scrotum. I'm not kidding you. It's poison. I'm telling you, that thing, you know, guys have that one thing, and it's procreate.
As a grown man, like what? Like, I get that if you're 20. But in your 30s, shouldn't you know how to deal?
I'm knocking on the door of 60, sister. It ain't going anywhere. I'm telling you.
And you still have penis problems?
Penis problems? I wouldn't call them problems. I mean, may not always be as hard as I'd like, but...
But going way
no. At 60, I'll tell you right now, honestly, no, there are no penis problems. No,
I don't mean problems.
I'm still a dog. I still.
A dog?
Yeah. There's that element. I mean, I've managed it better. I keep it to myself. These are my own little sick thoughts. You know, a sine curve still has an effect on me. You know,
I can't believe you're admitting this.
No, I have to admit it because it's real. I mean, we need to know. You have to know, you know, but I have to manage it. I think I'm much better at managing it now. You know, I think it helps the fact that the testosterone level isn't as high as it was, but, you know, like when I was juggling girls, you know, I know it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And, you know,
the nicest, I feel like any man will cheat. Any man will cheat.
Do you know how true that really is? The men that would say that they wouldn't cheat, that try to take that higher than thou, it's because they never had the opportunity. They know they're never going to get the opportunity. And that's the reason why they can come off as like so amazingly holy. You know, it's because, I would never do that. Look at you. You know why you'd never do that? You would never have the opportunity to do that, you know. Right. But, you know, really, opportunity is a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. I mean, it's one of my greatest fears, believe it or not, that, you know, the perfect storm. You know, somebody just comes in that's like, you know, got their mind set on, you know, nailing the good doc, you know. And, you know, for the most part, I'm meat. You know, it's like right there. And like, how dare you? You need to, like, you know, represent your wife and, you know, protect that. And you have to say no and you have to step up. And it's like, I know that. Thank you. You know, there's that old saying about you can't rehabilitate biology. Well, you want us to. You want all men to, you know, especially men that are happily married. You want them to, like, you know, be responsible, you know. Defend your wife's honor. And it's like, you know, in those moments, the last person on my mind right now is my wife. And I love her a lot. You know, if you weren't in here right now coming on to me, I would be thinking about my wife. But right now, she's not in my mind. And if I can get, you know, a glimmer of, like, you know, thinking about her, I go, oh my God, Francis. Oh my God, that's right, Francis. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm really honored. Thanks. You know, I'm real honored by your offer, but no thanks. And all then you can do is just hope that, you know, it stops, right? Because all I got to do is step a little closer and start unzipping that fly. And it's like, please, no, oh no, right? And it's like, now you're conflicted. Oh my God.
Now you
how did my penis end up in your mouth?
How did I fall in the
How did I
pocket?
fall into that? I mean, but this is real stuff. I mean, you have to have real conversations like this. I mean, you know, now people would turn around and say, this is Dr. Michael. This is crazy. What you're talking about is only you, and you're demented, and you're sick, and you need to work on this, you know. Clearly, this is not how I feel. And I'm like, clearly, you've never been in this situation. Clearly, you haven't been this tempted or tormented before. And so you taking the holier than thou position is truly not fair until you've been placed in this position. And then you can watch yourself actually walk the steps of a saint. You can't claim sainthood because you've never had the opportunity.
So, you know, women ain't like that just because of our hormones. We're just not built like that.
No, women are really great when it comes to, like, loyalty. Like, you're loyal to a fault, but so are some men. I mean, men, you know, I find that a lot of men are loyal to a fault too. You know, I mean, I know I am. You know. Yeah. But but that's it. Anyway, this really went off the rails quickly, didn't it? Yeah. I love you.
I love you more. Bye, Doc.
I love you more.
I love you more.
Till next time.
Yeah.
Bye.